Hi everybody, this is the last lecture in the medical section of this module for the National Registry in the West Virginia Office of EMS recert protocol packet. Or not protocol packet, but recert packet. So this section is new. It's considered the culture of safety. It is a very new topic. I've done as much research as I possibly can into this for you. I will tell you that this is a very dry lecture, but it's also very short. And hopefully we can glean some information from it. And if you have anything to add, please let me know. I'd be happy to throw it into this lecture. So without further ado, here we go. So the strategy for a national EMS culture of safety came out in 2013, and what they have listed is the enduring value and priority placed on worker and public safety by everyone in every group at every level of an organization. So we're looking for here, we're looking at Princeton Rescue Squad as an agency and all the levels in that organization. And it refers to the extent to which both individuals and groups will commit to personal responsibility for safety. The act to preserve, enhance, and communicate safety concerns and strive to actively learn, adapt, and modify, not only on a personal level, but also as an organizational level, to modify behaviors based on the lessons learned from mistakes that we make and reward in a manner consistent with these values. So the 6 core elements, we talk about a just culture, and this is the development of environments in which EMS personnel are safe, or they feel safe to report errors. And the focus is on the various factors that contributed to the error and assess risks in order to identify means of overcoming factors that contributed to the errors. So we're looking at systems factors and individual factors that are being examined in order to try to make improvements so that the same mistake doesn't happen again in the future. And the other point to having a just culture is not placing blame or punishing. It's just not an option in that idealism of the just culture society. The second part is the coordinated support and resources. So we want to make sure that there's a creation of a guidance and resource body, creation of a guidance and resource coordination body. And the purpose is to determine the best way to effectively serve EMS in a support role, partner with governing bodies to try to serve as a conduit for information and resources. There's no real oversight or authority here, and the suggested support areas include outreach and resources for EMS and other stakeholders, resources for public outreach, and measures to measuring progress and safety. EMS Safety Data System. Now this is data-driven decisions and policies. So we're talking about data-driven decisions and policies that are related to EMS safety, and they can only be made if all the data is accessible on a national level. So what they're doing is they're looking at trying to create a robust, secure system that would allow access for researchers, those individuals that are part of decision making, and national stakeholder groups to be able to look at the data sets, be able to identify illnesses, injuries, and incidents that need to be analyzed in order to inform future plans, initiatives, processes, and policies. And it's all about protecting the health and well-being of EMS personnel, their patients, and the general public. And the EMS education initiatives is to let everyone know that safety starts with EMS leaders and the educators, and it involves everyone. And initial EMS programs are now taking a strong stand and encouraging that culture of safety throughout the program. So they initiate that culture of safety from the time the students walk in the door. They use it as part of the course and part of that culture of the program itself, and then they also teach it and try to remind people to go out and do that for themselves. And continuing education, which is what we're doing right now, but also for new employees that are being onboarded to make sure that we infuse a culture of safety throughout the curriculum so that it's constant reinforcement. The EMS safety standards, we want to have safety standards for patients and responder safety that must be developed using the data and the evidence. So this is where that EMS SRC can coordinate the efforts to combine work and data that's been completed by various stakeholders and projects to try to create guidance for those standards. And then there needs to be a requirement for reporting and investigation. So this is where we mandate reporting safety, and it's necessary so a common language and data set can be created to improve responder and patient safety. So the steps can include things like determining what data is already mandated and available, what data is necessary, what could be useful, learning from those with hands-on experience, assigning and obtaining authorization for an investigative body, and identifying any existing best practices that are currently out there. But at the end of the day, your role is most important. What changes are needed to encourage the development of a culture of safety in your role? How are mistakes handled if one is made during a patient encounter as the provider or your partner? And how should it be handled if applying the concept of just culture? How can we manage to manipulate that as an agency to ensure a just culture and the confidence of EMS providers to be able to step forward? So these are some things for you to think about and approach me with if you have some ideas. And again, I'm very open to whatever ideas and concepts you may have already encountered, or something that you think works that you've seen somewhere else. We would love to hear about it. So please let us know. Again, this is about the culture of safety and trying to develop this from day one and build it, and it's everybody's responsibility. So thank you, and we'll see you with the next module.